And so the mission to hunt Repri Dawson was initiated. A series of assassins from all over began to take action, targeting this lucrative prey. Even those who had not received the mission were lurking like tigers waiting for their prey, just waiting for someone else to fail so they could jump in and take their place. Repri seemed to have unknowingly entered a deadly game, while Chen Yuan observed everything from the outside as if watching an intense action movie. I don't have to worry at all because everything is in the hands of those who are desperate for money, ready to do anything for that $100 million. This case really raises the stakes for the world to be afraid. At 9 p.m., Repri had just gone through a busy day, finishing up a pile of work with troublesome brokers, and finally tired, he headed back to the hotel. As soon as he got back to his room, he had time to pull out his phone. Opening the darknet as usual, he proceeded to check in for the mission. This was a simple process that had to be done regularly. Otherwise, the darknet would assume the mission had failed and pose penalties. After checking in, Repri casually scrolled through the list of bounties. Not looking wasn't an issue, but as soon as he glanced at it, he was taken aback. What? Wait, why is my name appearing here? Shit, who could have done this? Repri was taken aback. The fifth-ranking assassin in the world had a bounty placed on him by someone on the darknet. He grew even paler as he scrolled through the forum, seeing a host of assassins excitedly discussing who would take on the mission to kill him and how they would send him off to the other side. After reading it, Repri nearly choked on his own blood. This is ridiculous. No matter how skilled I am, no one ever expected I'd become a target one day. Who could have known danger lurked everywhere? From that moment on, he understood that his life would be tied to panic, not much different from the prey he had hunted all this time. As he tried to regain his composure, Repri suddenly heard soft footsteps approaching from behind. He turned around, his heart pounding. Who? He tried to take a deep breath, attempting to act calm, but it was obvious that cold sweat was trickling down. Who? Show yourself. Stop playing hide and seek. Come out now before I charge in. At that moment, he realized he was truly in the position of the prey, no longer the hunter. Suddenly, life had flipped roles dramatically, transforming from the hunter back into the hunted. But when he saw clearly that the person standing there was Kevin, he breathed a sigh of relief. Kevin was the one Repri had personally nurtured since childhood, specializing in training excellent assassins. Kevin followed orders without many questions, ready to carry out a killing immediately at night. Repri trusted Kevin absolutely, whom he considered like his own son, always loyal and doing everything according to his wishes. Although Repri relaxed, he still warned. Huh, so it's you, Kevin. I told you not to come find me, unless it's something important. Fiona showing up like this could expose me. Kevin innocently replied, Yes, Daddy, I know. But don't worry, Daddy, I will arrange a private jet for you to leave here right away. This place is no longer safe. Repri didn't need to think much. He immediately ordered. That's right. Prepare the plane now. I need to get back to the base safely immediately. The longer I stay here, the more dangerous it gets. But who could predict the future? The adopted son that Repri trusted the most suddenly aimed a gun at him. In his final moments, Repri still tried to ask, despite being terrified. Why are you doing this? Kevin just scoffed, a smile tinged with bitterness and irony. Why? Ha ha. Before he could hear the answer, the adopted son shot him in the head without blinking. This hotel is well soundproof. Even with gunshots ringing out, no one could know. After dealing with Repri, Kevin continued with a tone full of arrogance. Daddy, for all these years, I've handled all the dirty work, but in the end, all I received were mere scraps. Meanwhile, you only need to open your mouth to get millions of dollars. The reputation, why Shaman Kui in the assassin world, that was built by me for you. But what do I get in the end? No reputation, no benefits. Do you think this is fair? To be honest with you, the bounty mission of $100 million was assigned to me. After killing you, I won't have to worry about anything for the rest of my life. You can close your eyes in peace, Daddy. Repri lay there, his eyes wide open, unable to close them. In his entire life, the fifth-ranked assassin in the world was taken down as easily as one eats porridge, and the one who dealt the blow was none other than the adopted son he trusted the most. Even in death, he could not have imagined that his end would come like this. After taking a farewell photo of Repri, Kevin uploaded it directly to the darknet to claim the reward. He just needed to wait for approval, and the money would automatically fly into his pocket. 3 days passed. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan was enjoying a luxurious life in Yanjing. During the day, he went to check in at the Great Wall, the Ancient Palace, and the Peace Palace with Yi Han and Kim Wushuang, visiting famous universities. At night, he frequented bars and entertainment spots. He even stopped by all the famous nightlife places. While Chen Yuan was having the time of his life, Captain Zhang was extremely worried. His face wrinkled as he reminded him, Mr. Chen, you've been assassinated twice already. Please stop wandering around. Do you know how much effort we have to put in to protect you? But Chen Yuan's response left Captain Zhang speechless. But I believe the most dangerous place is actually the safest one. Before Captain Zhang could reply, a subordinate special agent hurried over to report, "Captain, there has been a murder at the Capitol Hotel." Captain Zhang was stunned. "What? The renowned manager of Bella Hathaway has been assassinated." At this point, things began to escalate further while Chen Yuan remained calm, as if he were not involved in the death of Repri at all. Captain Zhang listened with a pale face and ordered, "Investigate immediately, send an additional 6 of my men and 12 bodyguards for Bella Hathaway. Ensure strict surveillance. Nothing must happen." After learning that Repri was dead, Chen Yuan pondered for a moment, his eyes glinting with contemplation. Did he die so quickly? Immediately, Chen Yuan logged into the darknet to check. There was indeed a notice of mission completion, accompanied by a photo of Wai Sha Man who he shot in the head. This assassin is really efficient, he thought. Then, Chen Yuan turned to Captain Zhang and suggested, "Police Zhang, you take care of that matter. I haven't even finished touring the capital's film academy yet." Captain Zhang hesitated but decided to leave, reminding him carefully, "Mr. Chen, you absolutely must not reveal your identity. It's best if I return within an hour." As soon as he saw the special forces not lingering around him, Chen Yuan felt a sense of relief wash over him. Finally free from the annoying bodyguards, he could now leisurely stroll and admire the beautiful girls at school. However, searching for a needle in a haystack like this would probably take a while to find a gem. Looking around was indeed tiring. Plus, he had to wear a mask and sunglasses to avoid being recognized. The longer he walked, the more he felt a bit rude. But this trip was truly worthwhile. Upon entering the capital's film academy, Chen Yuan was extremely excited. This was a place where all the artistic beauty converged, where the girls who enrolled were all stunningly beautiful. Especially in the performing arts classes, they were all stunning beauties with perfect figures, multi-talented, embodying the national standard of attractive women, truly deserving of the title College Beauties, with beauty and talent ranking at the top of the country. Chen Yuan was indescribably joyful, his eyes bright as he admired the girls. You wander around admiring the beauties and suddenly have an idea. Why not organize a casting call for actresses? It would be an easy way to choose, and it would be as public and reasonable as possible. While thinking, you pull out your phone and call Yang Sison. "Are you busy these days? I'm in Yanjing, right here at the Film Academy. I'm planning to invest in a game show that specializes in scouting the top beauties from the best schools." Yang Sison is unclear about Chen Yuan's intentions and presses for more details. "Adopted father, what kind of beauty selection game show are you planning to invest in?" Chen Yuan continues explaining, "My idea is to invest in an extremely cool game show that promises to attract all the talented and beautiful female students from universities across the country to participate. I will invest $1 billion. The first winner will get the leading role in a film with a budget of $1 billion or more. Not only that, the winner will be the face of the project with a compensation of up to $100 million. The top 10 contestants will also have the opportunity to play important roles in other films and can shine as much as they want." Hearing this, Yang Sison couldn't help but shudder at the benefits this program could bring. It was unexpected that his foster father had thought this far ahead. Signing contracts with artists is not easy. It requires evaluating beauty, acting skills, and talent. If they could attract hundreds of talented beauties for auditions, then there's no need to worry anymore. Especially with such a huge investment, this selection process will bring great fame to the film city and elevate Lim Young-won's status in the entertainment industry. Just the thought that the winning female student would immediately receive a $100 million representation fee is shocking enough. Not to mention there's a movie worth $1 billion waiting for her to change her life. This is indeed a bold move. Never has a rookie had a compensation reaching hundreds of millions of dollars right after debuting. If this news leaks out, it will definitely cause a stir in the showbiz world as well as in schools. The more Yang Sison thought about it, the more excited he became, and then he happily replied, "That's amazing, foster father. Do you have any instructions? At the final round, will you personally select the candidates?" Chen Yuan immediately responded, "Of course. Lately, there have been too many insider dealings in game shows. How can I be at ease if I don't oversee it myself? You just take care of the first round, and once that's done, I will personally come to meet each one." Hearing this, Yang Sison felt more thrilled than ever. "All right, since foster father wants to go big, we can't do it normally. I will make this program more extravagant than ever, so the whole country will know about it." Just after hanging up, Chen Yuan immediately envisioned the possibilities that this game show would open up. If new exceptional talents could emerge from this competition, he would bind the system and build a promising lineup of young stars. On the other side of the ocean, in a secret underground headquarters, Mr. X sat in a conference room with a large screen displaying the death image of Repri. A manager from the darknet spoke in a tense voice. Sir, why Shaman Kug has been taken down. It's hard to believe Chen Yuan is this dangerous. Another person added, there's reason to suspect that the anonymous account hiring the assassin this time belongs to Chen Yuan. This means he has used our own rules to retaliate. This action can be seen as a direct challenge to the darknet. A senior member boldly suggested, issue a global hunt order for Chen Yuan immediately. If he possesses highly confidential data, we cannot allow this threat to exist. Another manager said solemnly, a global hunt order from the darknet is a terrifying thing entirely different from regular bounty orders. Usually, only one assassin accepts the mission, while the global hunt order is a call to all assassins around the world with no restrictions on who takes the job. Whoever kills the target will receive $1 billion immediately, without waiting for any evaluation or verification. This global hunt order has appeared twice before, and each time it resulted in extremely bloody consequences, causing unprecedented fierce hunts. Another member objected, what if we do that? Isn't it like setting fire to drive out snakes? What if he gets cornered and releases all the data? Another manager exclaimed, hesitation only makes us more confused. If we don't order a manhunt, he can leak classified information at any time. Dealing with him quickly is the only way. Another manager sighed, what I worry about is if Chen Yuan submits all the classified data to Voxia, he will definitely be protected absolutely. At that point, even a global manhunt might not find him. Right now, he hasn't done that simply because he is still calculating his own interests. He is indeed a person with ambitions. Another person interjected, sounding furious. In fact, if the assassin fails for some reason, no one will say anything because the darknet is a place for fair transactions. If you take someone's money, you have to work for them. But this Chen Yuan is bold enough to infiltrate the entire classified data system. This person must be dealt with immediately. At this moment, Mr. X spoke up. Let's vote. Who agrees to issue a global manhunt? Raise your hand. I agree. Agreed. I oppose. Agreed. In the end, with 9 votes in favor, the global manhunt was approved without Mr. X's consent. The decision was finalized. The darknet would declare a global manhunt for Chen Yuan, and immediately, this notification would be sent to all darknet operating units. The fierce chase is about to begin with a single goal, to eliminate Chen Yuan. Every assassin in the world, from young to old, will receive this news and be ready to dive into the bloody battle for the massive bounty of $1 billion. Right after the meeting ended, within 10 minutes, hundreds of thousands of assassins registered on the global darknet received a strange notification in their inboxes, accompanied by a bright red exclamation mark next to a series of unusual symbols. Anyone who read it couldn't help but open their eyes wide and exclaim, holy shit, something big is happening on the darknet. The darknet has never sent messages on its own before. If it did, they were always the most important ones. The interface opened and the details about the target were clearly displayed. Target, Chen Yuan, 22 years old, identity, Guaxia billionaire. Reward, $1 billion for whoever kills him. Immediately, this announcement created a storm of comments on the forum. I haven't been in this profession for a long time. Maybe it's time for me to make a comeback. What did Lim Yong-won do to make the darknet go to such lengths? Who did he provoke? Maybe he got involved with some young ladies and then ran away. Haha, my friend, the darknet has Waxia people too. Let's make friends, form a group to hunt Lim Yong-won, and split the reward. I heard that a top 5 world assassin tried to assassinate Lim Yong-won and ended up dead instead. This isn't an easy task, I'm sure. There are a ton of bodyguards around Lim Yong-won. It seems this mission is a tough nut to crack. The entire forum was buzzing with lively discussions, more animated than ever. Everyone was eager, knowing this was a big case, and those who acted quickly would reap great rewards. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan strolled calmly around the Film Academy campus, casually admiring the beautiful women as if the whole world was peaceful. Suddenly, a tall woman approached and greeted. Mr. Chen, I am Miss Bella's assistant. She would like to invite you to dinner to discuss a few matters. Chen Yuan raised an eyebrow and asked, Ha, Bella wants to have dinner with me? Yes, after Rapre was killed, Miss Bella had to stay in Huaxia to cooperate with the police investigation due to this matter. She has very few friends here, so she would like to invite you to a meal. Chen Yuan nodded. All right, league away. As they walked, Bella's assistant smiled professionally and spoke in a friendly tone. Mr. Chen, I've been hearing about your reputation for a long time. Miss Bella greatly admires your talent and demeanor. She always speaks of you with respect and hopes that today will be a comfortable meeting. Chen Yuan smiled briefly, slightly raising his lips in response. Is that so? Miss Bella seems to know how to care for her acquaintances. The assistant bowed her head politely with a smile. Miss Bella always values relationships, especially with those who have special abilities like yourself. With that, The assistant gestured toward the Bentley and gave a slight bow. Mr. Chen, please step into the car. We will go to a quiet restaurant to have a more private space. Bella, being an artist managed by Repri Dawson, Chen Yuan was certain that there was no way she was completely unaware of this matter. There was something very suspicious. Only by meeting directly would he gain clarity. In the car, Chen Yuan sat feeling extremely anxious. The car swayed back and forth, and they finally arrived at the European restaurant. Although the drive was only 5 minutes, with the traffic blockage in Yanjing, it was common for it to take 50 minutes. As soon as he got out of the car, he saw the restaurant's door was closed, with 2 bodyguards over 2 meters tall and muscular standing guard outside. Looks like this restaurant has already been selected. Mr. Chen, please come in. This restaurant is truly luxurious from A to Z with an elegant and quiet atmosphere, and only Bella is sitting alone at the table waiting. Just then, the server brings the food at the perfect moment. Mr. Chen, the Kobe beef here is premium. You should try it, Bella suggested. Chen Yuan replied, picking up his fork and taking a piece of rib into his mouth. Before he could even chew, it melted instantly. Truly, it lived up to the reputation of Kobe beef, priced as if it were from the sky. One piece could probably buy an entire cow. But since it was brought to his mouth, he might as well eat it to avoid waste. Chen Yuan nodded, it's pretty good, and then ate a few more pieces, thoroughly finishing the Kobe beef in front of him. Bella's bright blue eyes sparkled with curiosity, and then she suddenly spoke up. Mr. Chen, aren't you afraid I might poison your food? I heard you were once poisoned from a bottle of water. Even though in my heart I secretly thought that I had reached the level of 100 poisons and invulnerability that nothing could harm me, Chen Yuan replied calmly with a probing expression. Miss Bella, I never thought of you as Wai Shaman Ku. Listening to your music, I sense the helplessness and constraints, knowing you are just someone who cannot make decisions for yourself. Back then, when I asked if you were an assassin, it was just a way to probe a bit. Hearing Chen Yuan speak, Bella was taken aback, her eyes wide open and unblinking. By the last sentence, Bella couldn't help but smile, her demeanor lightening noticeably. Do you really hear all those things from my music? Chen Yuan maintained the demeanor of someone who understood everything, his expression showing deep comprehension as he nodded firmly. Of course, Miss Bella, a person who lives under the spotlight while their heart remains in darkness, is not something everyone can recognize. I'm just a bit more perceptive. Ordinary people listen to music for entertainment. I listen to understand the human heart. It sounded great, but in his heart he thought, in reality, during that performance, I didn't hear anything at all, just on high alert to see if someone was trying to assassinate me. Bella, feeling like she had found a soulmate, smiled with a heart full of emotions. You're the first person who truly understands the feelings in my music. So many only see the joyful extravagance, but no one realizes it is the light I crave while being lost in darkness. Chen Yuan was surprised. He had thought she was talking nonsense, but it was surprisingly accurate. Yet he continued to listen attentively, his face extremely expressive. Bella looked at him, her gaze distant as if to open her heart. Thinking back, it makes sense. Anyone who plays the piano, as well as Mr. Chen, must understand music deeply enough to hear those hidden emotions. Bella's favor level with Chen Yuan increased by 10 points, now reaching 50 points. After a few emotional seconds, Bella unexpectedly lowered her voice, whispering as if sharing a secret. Thank you for trusting me, but I have to say, this assassination attempt on you is actually somewhat related to me. There are organizations in this world that specialize in providing such services, and they must have a grudge against certain people, placing huge bounty awards on them. At this point, Bella sighed, her gaze dropping. I know this is just a coincidence. Back in high school, I was often bullied by my classmates. No one in class or the dorm let me be. They hated me because I was mixed race, called me a bastard, and even beat me up. During those days, I was always anxious and scared, to the point that I didn't even dare to go to school. Bella gazed into the distance as if reminiscing. Chen Yuan sat there, unable to contain his surprise. Who would have guessed that an international superstar adored by billions had been severely bullied in school? But it makes sense. Bella was beautiful and of Asian descent, so it was unusual for her not to face discrimination in America. Being both beautiful and standing out, it would have been hard for other girls to let her be, not to mention the attention from male students. Actually, too much of anything is not favorable. Chen Yuan listened intently in silence. At that time, I even thought about ending it all. Bella recounted. Then one day a man appeared named Repri. On the outside, he seemed kind, but on the inside, he was someone who thrived on death. He gave me a colorless, odorless drug, claiming it was just for a mild stomachache, but then my bully friend died from poisoning. From that moment, Repri had my weakness in his grasp. I couldn't escape him. Suddenly, unexpected opportunities came flooding in, and I became famous quickly. I love music because it helps me pour out my feelings, but I never thought I would one day become an international superstar. Reprey was indeed a cunning fox, gradually pushing me to the peak of success, then slowly forcing me to do shady things. At 19, experiencing love for the first time, I met someone truly exceptional. We were very compatible and promised each other forever, only for him to die the next day from poisoning. I finally realized that Reprey had targeted him from the beginning and used me to reach him for assassination. That meeting was merely a play he had staged. At this point, Bella lowered her head, her eyes brimming with tears. I could only watch the person I loved being killed and do nothing because I was cowardly and weak. But right after that, Bella suddenly looked at Chen Yuan, her eyes sparkling with a mix of sorrow and resentment, hesitantly asking, "Mr. Chen, does Reprey's death have anything to do with you?" Bella recounted the story, mixing truth and lies, unafraid to probe Chen Yuan about his connection to Reprey's assassination. But to keep the mood lively, he still pretended to be clueless. "Miss Bella, I have no idea what you're talking about."